Hey, it's Harlan. I'm back. Welcome to day number 9. So the question is, can I lose 20 pounds this week? Because that's my goal. And if I don't lose 20 pounds this week, I am a total failure at keto. Time to give it up. Because I'm supposed to lose 20 pounds a week. After all, that's what someone else did. And if someone else did it, I should be able to do it too. People want immediate results. And people have spent their whole life jumping from diet to diet. I hear this one works. I hear this one works. I was actually just on a service call a few minutes before recording this. And the gal who was helping me said, "Hey, my mom just started keto." Okay, so she started this, she started that, she started something else. You know the drill, because all of us, including myself, have been there. So the problem is that nobody sticks to any routine. That's it. People come in with expectations. I remember in my old hypnosis office, these two gals came in. They said, "We did Weight Watchers 2 weeks ago and we lost 2 pounds. But then in the second week, we only lost 1 pound. So that's not working. We want to do something else." I wouldn't accept them into my program because they do not have any realistic expectation or knowledge of what's going to happen. Now, health clubs know this secret because everybody signs up at the beginning of the year, but by the end of January, they're gone. They're gone. Do you know that if everybody who belonged to a health club showed up at the same time, there wouldn't be any room for them? People actually can use incredible amount of weight with keto. You've seen the people in our group. They're doing phenomenally. But then the curse of personal change comes in. It's the curse of all personal change. It's the curse of weight loss. It's why we don't change. You're going to see it right now. Here it is. The plateau. People hate being on a plateau. In keto, we call it a stall. And people have expectations. Oh my God, I lost 2 pounds and now I've stalled. Well, when did you lose 2 pounds? Yesterday. And what about today? Nothing. They think they're on a stall. They don't understand that that's not a normal expectation. I was at my doctor's office and he said, "Remember, you're in a marathon, not a sprint." We're going to be talking about the plateau that everyone hates. You see, the way to mastery is learning something new is often challenging. You know, we want to get it the first time automatically. We are so end goal focused that we give up immediately. Watch kids who are frustrated. They just give up. And there's this famous 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is that, the people who do anything in every situation, only 20% are going to get the results. Why? Because the 80% are busy. They can't focus. They can't continue. Now, growth, when you're thinking about something, typically comes in an aha moment. You're not necessarily focusing on that, but all of a sudden, something just pops into your mind and woo! Where did that come from? Well, weight loss in keto works the same way. You're on that plateau, or we call the stall, and you're doing the same things, and then all of a sudden, from out of the blue, something happens, something changes. It could be that you make a change that to your diet, to your lifestyle, but all of a sudden, you get that spurt, you drop a couple of pounds, maybe a lot of pounds. Where'd that come from? It came from the fact that you stuck to your goals. The mastery graph that we talked about is not a constant graph. It is not always moving in an upward direction. It lifts, it plateaus, it lifts, it plateaus, it lifts, it plateaus. This is the lesson of life. And as well, It's the lesson of keto. So why does it take so darn long to get to success? Well, when you learn something, when you learn anything, let's say you're learning how to dance and do certain moves, or you're learning yoga, or you're learning to box, physical activity needs to go to muscle memory. I knew that I was doing yoga, it took a long time for me to learn routines until all of a sudden now those routines just come back to me. You all know what it's like when you ride a bike and you haven't ridden a bike in a long time. You get on, you're able to ride that bike because it's in your muscle memory. Now, mental activity needs to overcome stages. When you're doing keto, it doesn't work the way you always expect it to work. First, there's that stage where, other people lost 80 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds the first week. And then you get the idea, okay, that didn't happen for me. So maybe you tighten up on your keto and you study what's going on and you look at things and, okay, that's great. But that's a stage. And then there comes this idea where, yes, you can do this. And you're going to keep going, even though it's not at the rate that you want it to happen. Look, there are a lot of situations that are just habitual, that are related to food. Birthday cakes, Thanksgiving, Christmas, parties, food in the office, going in the car and maybe having something on the way home, going to a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts and picking up something. These are habits. And we have to take behaviors. You have to take behaviors that are trapped in the back of your mind and wake up so you become conscious, so you become mindful of them. And that is a seriously important situation. They say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That is so absolutely not true. I'm not just talking about dogs here. People can always learn to do new things. People are always ready to expand. So you're doing keto and it's something new. You can do this. You can absolutely do this just by taking a single step at a time. Look, when you were a kid, those of you who are mothers watched your kids, they didn't just get up one day and walk. They crawled. And they crawled and they crawled. And then maybe they did what they call cruising, where they held onto a leg, they held onto a couch, they moved holding on. And then there was that day that they let go and down they went. Good thing they were wearing those padded diapers. Never in human history has there been a case where a baby got up to walk, wasn't able to do it, and said, "That's it, darn it, I'm going to stay down here for the rest of my life." No, that's not the way it works. So you can take these new behaviors and you can get back up and you can learn how to walk and eat and live in an entirely new way. And you can do this. You see, the person who is the master comes to love the journey itself. The greatest basketball players in the world practice in the off season, even when there's nothing to do. There were Larry Bird, who was a player for the Boston Celtics basketball team. Do you know that when every game was over, whether they won or lost, he was on the court practicing his shots after the game was over? he's not the only one. Right now, I am in Florida. In Florida, my local hockey team is the Florida Panthers, and one of the greatest players in the history of hockey happens to be playing right now, and his for the Panthers, and his name is Yager. And Yager, when a game is over, he's out there on the ice taking shot after shot after shot. And that's what makes him great. And he is forever looking for someone, looking for goalies to shoot against. Why? Because that's the way you get great. So the bottom line here is that greatness doesn't come overnight. Success doesn't necessarily happen overnight. The really good stuff is it comes when you keep up with it and you become the master. When you recognize that the joy of doing keto is a goal in and of itself, and that it's not about the fact that uh, uh, it's not about the fact that you didn't get that many pounds in any particular week. That's not what it's about. It's about the practice of doing keto. You see, this is what people want. See that? Little bumps along the way, but they want to see that constant growth. Well, that's not the way the good Lord made us. But this is what people can hope for, and this is success. Now, you tell people that this is what they're signing up for, and they'll go, no, I want something faster. But if you tell them that this is something that you can have for the rest of their life, then that's what they start paying attention to. Because that plateau, that's when the new behaviors and the new knowledge all integrates. And that is where you become a success. But because people don't want that, they end up burning themselves out and they never get their goals. Stick with us. Become the master. Get your goals. People want millions by tomorrow. Is winning the lottery realistic? Is becoming an overnight success in business realistic? Is playing in the World Series realistic if you've never played baseball before? None of these are realistic. Neither is dropping 80 pounds the first month because you want to get married at a certain weight. And I see people planning out how much they're going to lose. And guess what? You know and I know it's not going to happen. But by doing the same thing again and again, you are going to be a success. And that's what this is all about. Everyone can achieve mastery. How much do you want this? How much do you want to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, that's what I like? How much time are you going to invest in this? Are you prepared to deal with the learning curve that's not necessarily going to come off as quickly as you like? Are you prepared to stick it out? Are you prepared to stick out the plateau? Because if you are on the road to mastery.